In today's digital world, access to all kinds of content is just a click away, including online pornography. The internet has made it easier than ever for people of all ages to find and consume explicit material, often in total privacy and at any time of day or night. What was once hidden is now mainstream, with millions quietly consuming it every day. The sheer convenience and anonymity of digital devices have transformed private viewing into a widespread, normalized activity. In the US, nearly 70% of men and 40% of women view online pornography each year. These numbers highlight just how common this behavior has become, cutting across gender, age, and background. Among young adults aged 18 to 25, over half use it monthly or more, almost double the rate of older adults. For many, it's a routine part of digital life, woven into daily habits and social interactions. This age group is especially vulnerable as their brains are still developing, particularly in areas tied to decision-making and impulse control. The adolescent brain is more sensitive to rewards and novelty, making it more susceptible to the effects of repeated exposure. The normalization of pornography among youth raises urgent questions about its long-term effects on the brain. Parents, educators, and health professionals are increasingly concerned about what this means for mental and emotional development. While debates have often focused on morality, science is now examining the neurological and psychological impacts. Researchers are looking beyond social taboos to understand what's really happening inside the mind. What actually happens in the brain with repeated exposure to such stimulating material? Are there changes in neural pathways, or shifts in how the brain processes pleasure and reward? Is it harmless entertainment, or does it trigger changes with lasting consequences? The answers are complex, and the effects may not always be immediately obvious. New research suggests the latter, revealing that what we watch can fundamentally alter how we think and feel. These changes can influence our relationships, our focus, and even our emotional well-being. Many people notice subtle shifts in mood or focus, but don't connect them to their online habits. Over time, these small changes can add up, affecting productivity, motivation, and self-esteem. By understanding the science, we can move beyond stigma and empower ourselves to make informed choices for our mental health. Knowledge is the first step toward healthier habits and a more balanced relationship with technology. To truly uncover pornography's real impact on the human mind, scientists are now turning to advanced brain imaging technology. These tools allow researchers to peer inside the brain in real time, revealing subtle changes that would otherwise go unnoticed. In 2025, a groundbreaking study from Chengdu Medical College in China offered some of the clearest and most compelling evidence yet about the immediate effects of pornography on the brain. The research team recruited college students, both frequent and infrequent viewers of pornography, and carefully tested their cognitive skills before and after a single short exposure to explicit material. Each participant completed a series of psychological questionnaires and the Stroop test, a classic measure of executive function, attention, and mental flexibility. This test is widely used to assess how well someone can focus and manage conflicting information. After watching a 10-minute pornographic video, the students repeated the same tests, this time while their brain activity was monitored using FNRs, a non-invasive tool that tracks blood flow in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and self-control. The results were nothing short of startling. Even a single, brief viewing session led to a measurable drop in cognitive performance, with participants struggling more on tasks that required focus and quick thinking. Reaction time slowed noticeably, accuracy dropped, and brain scans revealed altered activity patterns in key regions linked to self-control and attention. The study captured the immediate, fleeting effects of pornography on the brain with remarkable clarity, providing a rare window into how quickly our mental state can shift. This wasn't just a minor blip. There was a clear, significant impairment in mental performance, raising concerns about the potential for longer-term effects with repeated exposure. These findings raise serious questions about how even casual or occasional consumption could affect our ability to think clearly, manage impulses, and stay focused in everyday life. The evidence is hard to ignore. What we choose to watch online can have instant, measurable effects on our brains, shaping our thoughts and behaviors in ways we might never expect. The Chengdu study's most striking finding was the sharp decline in cognitive performance after just one 10-minute session. participants' reaction times slowed and errors increased on the Stroop test, signaling impaired executive function. This mental fog made even simple tasks more difficult. Executive functions are crucial for daily life, helping us focus, resist distractions, and make sound decisions. The study suggests that even brief exposure to pornography can temporarily sabotage these skills. Brain scans revealed that post-viewing activity resembled patterns seen in addiction and mental health disorders. The prefrontal cortex, our brain's CEO, showed disrupted connectivity, as if it was no longer leading effectively. While one session won't cause permanent damage, repeated impairment could weaken executive function over time. The big question: what happens if this becomes a daily habit? The risk to long-term brain health is real. Beyond short-term effects, research shows that frequent pornography use can rewire the brain in ways similar to substance addiction. The brain's reward system, fueled by dopamine, reinforces compulsive behaviors. Studies from the Max Planck Institute found that heavy users had less gray matter in the striatum, a key reward center, and weaker connections to the prefrontal cortex, which controls self-regulation. This weakened break makes it harder to resist cravings, a hallmark of addiction. The Chengdu study confirmed that high-frequency users had brain connectivity patterns linked to addiction and emotional regulation. Their brains were hyper-responsive to explicit material, but this came at a cost to cognitive and emotional health. The evidence is clear: heavy pornography use can fundamentally alter brain wiring, prioritizing short-term reward over long-term well-being. These changes mirror those seen in other addictions, making the habit difficult to break. Pornography's impact goes far beyond just cognition or mental processing. It deeply affects emotional health, shaping how we feel and connect with others. Studies show that people who view pornography frequently often develop muted, almost numb emotional reactions to explicit content, in stark contrast to infrequent viewers who display more genuine, spontaneous emotional responses. This emotional desensitization doesn't just stay online, it can spill over into real life, dulling our ability to feel joy, empathy, and intimacy with those around us. Research also links heavy pornography use to higher rates of anxiety and depression, especially among young adults. While causation isn't definitively proven, the correlation is strong and supported by a growing body of studies. The cycle can be vicious. People may turn to pornography to escape negative feelings like stress or loneliness, but over time, the habit can actually intensify those very emotions, making it harder to break free. The constant dopamine rush from repeated viewing disrupts the brain's natural chemical balance, making everyday pleasures and social interactions seem dull or unfulfilling, which is a core symptom of depression and emotional withdrawal. The gap between fantasy and reality can also fuel feelings of shame, guilt, and anxiety. What may start as a search for pleasure or relief can gradually become a source of emotional pain and distress. The toll on mental well-being is significant, often underestimated, and deserves greater attention. Many believe only addicts are affected by pornography, but science says otherwise. The Chengdu study included occasional users, healthy students with no signs of addiction. Even they experienced a measurable drop in cognitive performance after just one viewing. Their reaction time slowed and accuracy fell, though not as dramatically as in heavy users. Brain scans showed their neural pathways weren't yet rewired for compulsion, but the content still disrupted normal function. This means anyone, even infrequent viewers, can experience temporary mental fog and weakened focus. The effects are immediate and real, not limited to those with a problem. Imagine trying to study, work, or connect with others right after viewing. Your brain simply isn't at its best. Occasional use is not risk-free. The impact is broader than most realize. To understand the stakes, consider how widespread pornography use has become. Nearly 70% of men and 40% of women in the US view it annually, and over half of young adults use it monthly or more. Smartphones and high-speed internet have made access effortless, especially for the young, whose brains are still developing. Early frequent exposure can shape neural pathways for reward and self-control, raising public health concerns. Problematic use is also common. Up to 11% of men self-identify as addicted. Globally, about 3% of people experience harmful patterns of use, yet less than 1% seek help. For millions, what began as curiosity has become a compulsion. This isn't about moral failing, but about how the brain's reward system can be hijacked. The gap between those struggling and those seeking support is vast and growing. Despite millions struggling, very few seek help for problematic pornography use. Shame and stigma are major barriers. Many fear judgment or don't recognize their behavior as a real problem. The secrecy surrounding the habit creates isolation, making it harder to reach out. Because pornography is so normalized, people often rationalize their use or fail to connect it to issues like anxiety or relationship problems. There's also a lack of specialized resources and trained professionals for this specific issue. Even those who want help may not know where to turn. This combination of shame, denial, and limited support keeps most sufferers in the shadows. Addressing these barriers is crucial for real change. The research is clear. What we watch online can reshape our brains and affect how we think and feel. Even casual viewing can impair focus, while frequent use can rewire the brain for compulsion and emotional numbness. This isn't about fear or judgment, but about empowering ourselves with knowledge. Understanding these effects helps us make healthier choices and supports a more compassionate, informed society. Recognizing problematic use as a real mental health issue reduces stigma and encourages people to seek help. Open dialogue and education are key, especially for young people navigating the digital world. The goal isn't prohibition, but promoting mental wellness and cognitive vitality. With awareness, we can choose habits that support a sharp mind